Our next session is by our very own coach, Carole. Her session is on tracking and monitoring pathways achievements at our club. And this is something which I'm definitely looking forward to, considering that we are also struggling tracking, users on the legacy system as well as on pathways. So this should be an interesting session for all of us and a learning. Over to you, Carole.
Thank you so much, Amit. I hope everyone can see my slides, and you should also have received in the chat pod a link to a document that you may wish to download and use for yourself or share with your club members. I'm going to talk about that document a little bit further in the presentation. But my brief tonight is to give you some new ideas on how you can track and monitor your pathways achievements at your club. So welcome to session 3. And please put questions into the chat pod and Amit can pick them up during as well as after. So this is what I'm going to cover for you today, really in 2 segments. How can we track and monitor pathways achievements? How the members can do so, what tools can they use, and how the club can also track on behalf of all the members of their club. So in the first segment, we're going to look at that first little document that I sent to you called the Pathways Level Completion Checklist. That one came across my desk as one of the things that I thought would be really useful as a printable document that you could share with your members, and I'll show you what it looks like in a moment. The second is how you can make use of EasySpeak Workbook Matrix. For the EasySpeak users here, this will be of keen interest to you. If you are not an EasySpeak user, you may of course have your own record system. And the third item or way in which a member can track their own pathways is through the curriculum in Basecamp itself. And after I've done those, I will come back to look at what the clubs can do. So let's have a look at what you can do with this. Let me go back to click happy there. This is what that first document looks like. It was developed by a person in, I'm not sure what district now, but it was shared with all of the members of the very large Pathways discussion forum. We're approaching 10,000 members in that particular forum, and there are resources coming in every week. And this one was a little gem because it's very similar to what you might remember was in place at the back of the Competent Communicator Manual, a place where you could list those project speeches that you've completed and a space for the VPE initials. This one shows all of the projects in every level and even the final task, which they have called Project 4. It's not really a project, but the final thing to do in each level is to submit your level completion. So I thought I'll fill one of these in for a fictitious person in the EasySpeak training club, which is called the King Arthur's Playground. And here we have the member Gandalf the Wizard. As you can imagine, he's got a bit of magic about him and he's getting stuck into pathways now. And he's using this checklist to indicate the dates on which he's completed the first 3 of those projects. And he's made a note for himself that he's scheduled the evaluation part of this to happen on the 31st of July and his final project speech of level 1 on the 30th of July. Don't worry too much about the dates here because this club, they meet anytime, anywhere, in the cloud and all over the place. So this is how one member can fill out that checklist. If you are an EasySpeak user and you are also a VPE, or at least have access to looking at what is showing currently for other members of your club, this particular part of the matrix is extremely important as a way of tracking what your members are doing. So this is the one for Gandalf, which shows the 3 items, projects that he's already done for level 1, where it says recent speeches. And here is his requested speech that he's going to do next. And this will enable the VPE to track just how well Gandalf is going to be able to achieve his goals. And of course, the member needs to chat with the VPE about what those goals are along the way. Another member of the club who is the VPE is Minnie Mouse herself. And at the moment, this is what's showing for her in her matrix in Easy Speak. She has completed level 1 and she's now looking forward to requesting speeches for other levels. And you'll notice that Easy Speak allows her and any member to click on the little arrow on the right-hand side there inside that red square if they have performed that speech outside of the club. Now this makes it really simple for a person who is in multiple club situations. So her level completions that she's aiming for before December 2019 is to complete 3 more speeches in August, September. So the VPE and Minnie, being the same person, can keep close tabs on what's happening there. The third member of the club, who is actually the president, and he needs to be getting going in his path, he's chosen the path called Engaging Humour, and he has made a start. He's finished 3 projects and he's now requested speeches for the next 2. So his goals are to complete 2 speeches during September. So just having that sort of record in Easy Speak makes the life of the VPE so easy. And it can also be used by the member themselves to closely track what they want to do and what they have done. Ah, yes, I hear you say, why can't they do that in Basecamp? Well, they can. They can certainly do the tracking in Basecamp as well. But in Easy Speak, it is so much easier. So here's what the club is hoping will happen in order to reach some of those coveted DCP points before December 2019. Levels 1 and 2 for all 3 of the members, Gandalf, Minnie and King, will contribute towards those DCP points. Because as you know, in order to get 1 point, you need to have 4 people complete level 1s. You need 2 more level 2s, another 2 level 2s, etc., to earn those points. So being on top of that as a member and as a VPE is very important. This is what they want to do before the end of June 2020 in order to complete the rest of the goals for DCPs. Gandalf to finish level 3, Minnie levels 3 and 4, and King Arthur to complete 3, 4 and 5. Coming back to how do we do all this in Basecamp? Well, of course, you can use the Basecamp to track your own progress, and the Basecamp manager can use it to track the progress of all of their team. So when you log into Toastmasters International, you would first choose to go to Basecamp here, logged in at your particular club. So that would be your first port of call. We all know how to do that. When you get to your transcript, the first thing you'll want to do is have a look at the curriculum itself to see what's been completed. And in this particular one, I've just selected my own. So this is my tracking progress so far in team collaboration. And I can see at a glance all of those projects that have been completed and those that need to be activated. So that is a simple way to have a look at progress. Click happy again. Let me go back. The next thing might be for the Basecamp manager to have a look at the progress of the team. And if you recall one of our earlier webinars this year, we had a presenter showing you exactly how you would operate as a Basecamp manager. I'm not going to step through those things for you today. I'm just going to make mention of one point which is valid for monitoring the progress of your team. When you have logged in this time as Basecamp manager, as you'll see here in the red square, I've logged in as the Basecamp manager for Indigo speakers, and I can bring up a view of the team for this club, number 5674142, and have a look at their progress from that point. So the next slide should show us that. And this is one of the reasons why you might need to go there, just to double check that this particular member has completed the meeting roles required in order to have completed level 3. Some people are getting a little bit confused with that, and it is up to the member to record in Basecamp each time they do one of those major roles, such as General Evaluator, Grammarian, Speech Evaluator, Toastmaster and Topics Master. I don't think the R counter and timer are included as necessarily required for level 3, but the others are. I need to double check my information on that. I'll ask someone at the end. But this is where you check if the member has actually recorded those. So moving forward. You can also check the roles by member in EasySpeak. This is a great tool. You can go to a region of EasySpeak called the charts and look up roles by member. So here we are back in King Arthur's Playground and having a look at what Gandalf has done recently. And he's been a speaker, evaluator, speaker, speaker. So there's some gaps here that we need to fill, or he will need to fill, in order to complete level 3. So in the middle there, you'll see that I've extrapolated that out to show that Gandalf needs to complete the roles of Table Topics Master, Grammarian, General Evaluator, and Toastmaster. And therefore it becomes a nice, easy way to remind him to do those before he can complete level 3. Similarly, King Arthur and Minnie need to complete some of those roles. All right, I'm coming to the end of the time allocated, so I'm going to go through these fairly quickly. This is one thing that you might want to be able to do. It came up as a suggestion from District 57 that across their district, they're encouraging their clubs to assign a VP Pathways role. So I'm suggesting it here as a strategy you might like to take, that the VPE could assign a VP Pathways, someone who has completed at least levels 1 and 2, and where possible, make that person the secretary as well, or have it as the secretary. Their job could then be to keep track of the Pathways achievements in EasySpeak and to alert the VPE to those potential level completions. So it's just another way in which you can help to monitor things within your club. The second part of this is to suggest that you might set up a Pathways corner within your club meeting, say a club business segment, and your Pathways achievements can be given special attention here and any level completion awards handed out on the day. This helps to not only track and monitor, but also motivate others. So I've come to the end of my time, so I'm going to stop sharing and come back to the room and just see if there are any questions. I flew through those very quickly, Amit, so let me know if there are questions.
No worries, Carole. Thank you very much. There is a question from Wendy. What she's asking is, can we get AV Speak to have pathway levels under goals? And we can use that to track the individual goals for the Toastmaster year.
Yes, that came up recently in some conversations in the Facebook group, that we do need that as a goal, because Easy Speak allows the member to set their own goals, and at the moment the pathways elements are not yet part of those goal setting. So we will definitely do that. We can put that forward to Malcolm Warden and his team.
Okay, great. Raman did have a question, but I guess that's been answered. But for the benefit of everyone, his question was, are the Basecamp manager and VP the same person? So, Ramon, just to answer the question, the Basecamp managers are essentially the VPE, the president, and the secretary, and any one of them can get into Pathways and do the role as a Basecamp manager.
Absolutely. And I thought, given that I need to really cover a couple of points, is it all right if I just extend for a couple of minutes and have a look at what you can do to monitor as a club? Anyone needing to dash away in a hurry?
Go for it. Liz had to drop off. I think the others are still here.
All right, okay. All right, so it'll just give me 3 minutes and I will cover this for you. I'll just go back to my slides and just proceed. All right, for the club, there are 3 things that you can do to track and monitor. One of those is for your DCP records, which you will find under your dashboards. And if you are not sure where to find that, you would go into Toastmasters International as an executive, go into Club Central and find your DCP records there. The second one you can use is the district adoption rates, which you can access if you are a district person, and you can get that through Leadership Central. And thirdly, there is a tool you can use, which is George Marshall's tools. And George is from Districts 57. So I'll just show you very quickly that this is how you would monitor the level awards in your Club Central dashboard. When you go to your own club through Club Central and click on that, you'll be taken immediately to the records that are showing. And at the moment, we're still only seeing the results for 17th of July 2019. They have not yet been updated for the new year. The second one is the adoption rates, and this is what Kelly was mentioning before. I think it's so important that we do strive to have all officers at least registered or enrolled in Pathways, and wherever we can, 100% of our members. And you can find those adoption rates in your Leadership Central. If you filter further down in that particular database, you'll be able to filter on the adoption rate itself and find out who are the top players. And at the moment, it's Central District. That should be Central Division, which has 7 of the top 19 clubs at 100% adoption rate, down through to 985. In George Marshall's tools, this is too small for you to actually see, but if you use that link, www.marshalls.org, TM Tools, you'll be able to filter on the award itself and find out just what is most popular. Because many of the names are omitted here, it's quite useful to use at any time. And the reason that the names are omitted is the person has gone on to TI and said no to have their name published in these particular databases. But this one is an excellent one to filter on awards, area, division, or even club. So thanks very much for allowing me that few extra minutes, because I think that was really important for me to cover for you.
No worries, Carole. Thank you for that. There was another question raised by Wendy. She's asking, how does the VP Pathways in D57 get notifications?
That's an excellent question. I've asked it myself, Wendy, and even George is not yet aware. They are still working through the parameters of how that is going to happen. So it will be very interesting to follow exactly what they are going to be doing as their VP pathways.
Yeah, I might have a solution over there actually for everyone. So as most of the VPs do not get the emails that are triggered on the contact us email that typically goes to the VPM, what I have done is I have set up a filter. We use Gmail for Mighty Docklands, and what I've done is I've set up a filter saying whenever there's a award submission subject line coming into this mailbox or a level approval keyword coming in, forward that email to my VPE.
Yeah, that's a good workaround. I like that.
Because I faced the same problem last year as VP that I was not getting any of the notifications, and I had to go on the Toastmasters website to see the level approvals that are pending. So this seems to be working right now.
Excellent. Well, who knows, in the immediate future, we might see that some of these things get changed by the summit team. We're not really sure what other changes are going to be made into the future. So hopefully that one will be one.
Yeah, and Hanif was also asking a question. Adoption means choosing a path. So adoption means essentially getting onto Pathways itself as a member.
Yes. And yes, it would mean choosing a path so that you are actually enrolled or registered. That's what adoption really means.
Okay, any further questions? Looks like there's no further questions. So thank you very much, Carole. A big round of applause for Carole for giving us this session. Carole, I can actually hand this back to you to close the meeting.
Yes, you can. Thank you so much for that, Ahmed.
Thank you.
Really excellent to have you on board tonight, and also for Tracy to be our timer, and to have everyone joining us tonight to ask your questions and just to be here. I think it's important that we have a bit of a crowd. We've been renting a crowd now for some time. So keep up the good work and come back for our next one. All promotions of the online education events are happening on the District 73 website under Pathways, in the calendar, we hope, and also in the newsletter each month. You hopefully will have received this month's newsletter and will have seen the write-up that we had for motivating others in Pathways. So if not, go and have a look. And we hope to see you soon at another event. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Carole.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great night ahead.
Bye all.